Story time. My dad was a good man, but he was rough around the edges, and for some years, we had kind of a strained relationship. We didn't fight or argue or nothing like that, but there was just a lot of tension. And one day I had a job driving a truck, and I was driving down the road, and I just asked the Lord, I said, why? You're God. You could have given me Ward Cleaver as a father. Why did you give me this guy? Why did you give me this guy as my dad? And I just kind of voiced it out loud to Jesus. I really wasn't expecting an answer, to be honest. And I saw, in my mind's eye, I instantly saw a very vivid picture. And it was a picture of a 2x4 laid on top of another 2x4, forming a T. And there was a nail started in the top of that board. And then I saw two hammers. One was just perfect and pristine, and it was shiny and unscarred and, just perfect. But next to it was this old, beat-up, wooden-handled hammer that the scarred and broken and had wedges drove down in the top to hold the head on, and one of the piece of the claw was broke off on the back of the old claw hammer, and the head of it was scarred up and beaten, and like it'd been used for beating anything but nails. And I saw this hand reach down, and I thought, well, okay, it's going to grab the silver hammer, and instead it grabbed that old gnarly hammer. And then I saw that hand take that hammer and in one hit drive that 16-penny nail down through that 2x4, and in just one hit not only drove it in, but sank it, below the surface. And I asked the Lord, I said, what's this about? What does this mean? And he said, that imperfect hammer was the perfect instrument for what I needed to drive that nail and to sink it and secure it. And he said, and your father, with all of his flaws and imperfections, was my perfect instrument to sink you and secure you in me. And I knew then that it's not about the person. It's about who we trust with our life and whose we belong to. And even though my dad at that time wasn't what we would call walking with Jesus, God was using him in my life to drive me into Jesus, to sink me into the heart of God, to secure me there. Hope this helps. He's always working in us. He's always working with the people around us, no matter how imperfect they are or we are. He knows what he's doing. It's not about the perfection of the instrument that's being used. It's about the master who's holding the instrument. God bless you.